Diomande will become a Real Madrid player in the coming hours or in the next few days. The Comunicado Oficial is coming. The Here We Go is on the table. But is the Here We Go official now when I'm recording this video? No. This is all I know. That's all I'm gonna share with you. But I'm making my own, I'm making my own line, guys. If you see the name of the channel and you don't like that I don't actually show, the Here We Go. If you don't like it, here you go. This is the Here We Go, yeah, guys? Just imagine it, because Diomande is joining Real Madrid. If you don't like it, here you go. This is the Here We Go so far, guys. This will have to do so far, because we have not gotten the Here We Go from Fabrizio yet. But Diomande has officially joined the disco. Diomande to the disco, Isco to the disco. We have landed. Diomande has officially arrived at the disco. That's my Here We Go. It's done. Diomande is joining Real Madrid. The club is finalizing the final details with Leipzig. Comunicado Oficial tomorrow. J. Felix Diaz. Do I completely believe this? Maybe not. But he has officially arrived at the disco. As I said, he will be a Real Madrid player. And I think it's self-explanatory why, Real Madrid are going in for Diomande in this manner, because they are, trying to put pressure on Vinicius. They are trying to put players on other players at the club to the better. There is more depth in that position. We don't have a proper right winger. And you might be asking about Isco. Isn't he a right-footed player? Isn't he, truly a left winger? Don't worry, we have enough evidence of, Diomande's playing time and what he does on the pitch to just put those rumors aside. Put everything aside, and I will show you how Diomande will actually play, and when he actually plays, most of his games. It's clear evidence with the heat maps, what he does on the ball, what he does on the pitch, how good he actually is compared to some of the wingers at our club. But before we do that, Real Madrid have reached an agreement with Rb Leipzig for Diomande, fee between 115 million and 120 million. It's not going to be that 130 million as we have talked about before in my videos, or other content creators have probably, speculated about as well. We did think that it's going to be towards the 130 million mark, but we could get it done for 115 to 120 million. Final details and document exchange being finalized. I like how fast we have gotten this done. I do think it's a little bit rash on how young Diomande is and how quickly, we basically went from Michael Olise being the final form to suddenly being like, well, if you can get him, you can get Diomande. And, fair enough. I get it completely, because we do need a right winger, but it is a little bit rash, let's be honest, guys. The final deal that is supposed to be the deal that will be, at Real Madrid for Diomande, we have reached the agreement with Rb Leipzig, accordingly to Jacobs Ben and Alex Krok. Agreement reached with the player over a 5-year contract. That means Diomande will become a Real Madrid player from 2026 until 2031. Honestly, I like this so much. In this day and age, if you don't lock up your player, especially at this age, for a long period of time, you could be having problems in the next 2 to 3 years. Honestly, if we gave him a 3-year contract, let's be honest, guys, we would be absolutely stupid. Now, the wages at Leipzig are not bad at all. I think he would be, in maybe the top 15 players paid at the club. But even if it's maybe top 12, maybe the 10th best player paid at the club, I think it's gonna be okay, because there is just so many other players that are already on so much more money that I don't think that this will put too much of a difference in the wage cap and in the wage structure at Real Madrid, because Diomande at 19 is not gonna be earning more than some senior players that are already at the club. So the wage will not be a problem for Real Madrid, which was kind of a problem for PSG. Now PSG are furious with this deal being already done for Real Madrid, because they already thought Diomande was their player, which fair enough. They are now going to make our life a little bit harder, which I'm going to switch full screen for, with the Rodri situation, which I want to know your opinion about. Why is PSG moving a little bit stingy, bro? You are back-to-back UCL winners. Like, Rodri, like, come on, man. You need Rodri in your midfield? Let us have it, man. We're coming back anyways. But PSG, I know you're scared. I know you're scared. No, you're getting flashbacks. You know, you're back to back in the UCL. You're thinking about, oh my God, what if Madrid comes back and steals the three-peat from us? What if they beat us in the final? Oh my God, we have to sign Rodri. They still stole Diomande from us. Well, game is game. Cinema for Madrid, baguettes for PSG, brother. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you want to steal Rodri, you better offer astronomical sums of money, because that brother is shaking nyash for Real Madrid. Now, before I go into the lineups and, you know, before we go look at the heat map for Diomande, let me just check Fabrizio if he got the here we go done. No, still nothing new about. It's only Barcola, Dovbek. This has been here before, so it's only still that Diomande has arrived to the disco at Real Madrid. Now, this is what I wanted to tell you. Jan Diomande can play all around the front three, of course, the striker being his least preferred position, and right wing and left wing being his most preferred position. Jan Diomande can also be described as a both-footed player. If you have ever watched him, you know that he likes to dribble, of course, with his right foot, which is his preferred foot, but a lot of his finishing is done with his left foot. A lot of his, final third actions is also done with the left foot, if he's coming off the left wing, or if it's, cutting in for a cross of the right, or even shooting and cutting in of the right wing as well and shooting with his left foot. He has literally no problem being a both-footed player as a right winger, and that's why I think we are so interested in him, because we are kind of used to a player on the right now for a lot of years, because outside of Gareth Bale, we have not had a left-footed right winger since, I don't know, I genuinely don't know. The last player, I believe it was maybe Takefusa Kubo. Did he leave before Bale? Maybe, honestly, like the last player was honestly Bale. So we are used to the right-footed right wingers. But if we need to, Diomande can also play on the left. There is that possibility of Vinicius Jr. leaving, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Diomande will preferably be a right winger. Now, on the topic of how many people are flooding my comments and saying, we don't need him, he's a left winger. Well, that is just clear signs of him not being a left winger, and most of his games are being played at right wing. And if you think, that he played left wing in the World Cup, he played left wing before in his career, why not have versatility? Why not have versatility? It's not the same as, the Rodrigo situation or Mbappe situation, because Rodrigo literally almost never played a proper right winger, if you remember those seasons under Carlo Ancelotti. He was either coming off the bench and playing right winger, fair enough, or he was starting in like a striker two up top with Vinicius, where they were rotating, and he was more so to the right side, but he was like a 9 drifting to the side, it was just different. With Kylian Mbappe, he was literally a left winger for PSG for like 7 years. And Vinicius is our left winger still to this day. But Diomande, it's completely different. Yes, he has played left wing. Yes, he has sometimes played in the striker position, but primarily in his best season in his life so far, it was on the right wing for RB Leipzig, as you can see, in the 25-26 season in Bundesliga, where he had 33 appearances and 28 matches started. 12 goals as well. Most of his goals were, as I said, scored with his left foot as well. So I don't want to hear anything that we are signing a left winger. This is a right winger that is going to come into the club, who can also play left wing if Vinicius Jr., decides to be a Dumbo and doesn't sign with Real Madrid. Even though that's not going to happen, guys. We have gotten so many talks about how Vinicius is basically going to make it easier for Real Madrid. He's only asking for 2+ million on the contract. The bonus will probably still be crazy, which I don't agree with, but all I can tell you is that 99% Vinicius Jr. is going to stay at Real Madrid. And, just to compare them, if you want to compare them, Jan Diomande and Vinicius, they are a lot, similar in what they do in their game, which, I think Vinicius exceeds in some of the best, attributes a winger can have, which is honestly dribbling, carrying, and, not expected GA. which for Vinicius is slightly, only slightly better than Diomande. But when you look at non-penalty goals, Diomande once again beats Vinicius. Assists, Diomande beats Vinicius as a winger. Key passes, beats Vinicius as a winger. Crosses, beats Vinicius as a winger. Once again, this is not too important for Real Madrid, if we're being completely honest. And we have to think about it as well in the point of Diomande has played less minutes, which is fair enough. You know, he has that advantage above Vinicius. But Vinicius has also been playing in a much harder league. Like, La Liga is just much, much harder. You play more games, you play better teams overall, and I would say that, you know, Vinicius is in big games will probably still give you more than Yan Diomande at this age. But, you know, we can't discredit a player for what he can do. He can only play for Leipzig, where he is currently situated, and he can only develop and perform in the Bundesliga, where he has been playing for the past, season. So, and he did that. He honestly did that. I'm so surprised how good he is in assists and how good he is in key passes. And of course, we cannot rate players off of stats. I was just interested to see how much he overperformed Vinicius in key passes and assists in the last season. This is for the 25-26 season for both wingers. I think this was all I wanted to say about Diomande. Once again, the deal will be worth around 115 to 120 million. The wage structure will not be too hurt by Diomande's contract. It will be the 5-year contract until 2031. And Fabrizio Romano, have you hit the here we go? Are we gonna hit the here we go during my video? No. So guys, this is my here we go. Yeah, Diomande has landed to the disco. He has arrived to the disco. I'm not waiting anymore. I don't need you, Fabrizio. Isco Disco, yeah, has made his own here we go. Diomande has arrived to the disco at Real Madrid, guys. He's gonna be dancing. He's dancing to Madrid. He's already flying there, and they're having a dance with Jose Mourinho, bro. Let me catch you in 2 hours when the official here we go lands. And I have already made this video, and it's already gonna be published on YouTube because I am both ahead of the game. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this Diomande deal. And PSG, hold this L, brother, like Griezmann told you in 2018. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.